why can't I get a BBL, you know? Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Amo. If you're returning, welcome. You obviously know the vibes. So today I was thinking, how about I do a little something so you guys can get to know me better. And like, I thought, let me just sit down and have like a chit chat regarding like body image issues, weight gain issues, how I view myself in general, where like my body is concerned. But yeah, let's get into the video. So let me like backtrack to like the beginning of like, let me not say the beginning of my life, let's say from the time when I was aware of this such things like weight and all of that, right? So this is like primary school, where you obviously start getting compared to like other kids, like when it comes to your physique and all of that, right? So I've always been a big body, you know, like a big body doesn't necessarily have to be like something that's negative. For me, it's more a thing of like embracing the fact that I know I'm not a skinny legend, you know, but in a way, like calling myself a big body or like attaching that label to my body makes me feel like better about myself, because it's kind of like I'm self-aware of like where my body is and how I view myself and all of that, and I don't shy away from acknowledging the fact that my body is where it is. Yeah. So I think for me, like for most of my life, I've always carried like some kind of shame where my body is concerned, because I've always been like bigger than my siblings as well and my friends. I'm kind of like a giant, if I can say so. Like I'm tall, like 169 centimeters. Regarding how much I weigh, I honestly don't know. It's like it fluctuates, you know, like it's life. But what I do know is that for most of my life, like I've never really been a small girl, you know, and even at my smallest or even at my skinniest, I wasn't a small girl still, you know. And I won't lie, for most of my life it really got to me, like especially because I had started comparing myself to other people, started comparing myself to like my siblings, and it's kind of like, why do you have the same genes, but it's like I look different from my siblings, my body is not like my siblings. There was just so many, why can't I be like the next person? Why can't I be like my friend who looks like she was born with a BBL, you know? And I feel like it got to a point where I was just like, it really doesn't matter. Like at the end of the day, it honestly clicked in my head where I sat down one day and I realized that God brought me into this world for a bigger purpose than for me to constantly worry about the vessel he brought me into this world to fulfill my purpose with. Does that make sense? Like whether I'm skinny or not, or I'm big or not, my purpose is still the same. Whether I get a BBL or not, of which I 100% intend on getting a BBL, like I'm not even gonna lie. I'm tired of the gym. I've been in the gym all my life. Surely, like, why can't I get a BBL, you know? But me getting a BBL still, it wouldn't change the purpose of my life. It wouldn't change where I need to be. It wouldn't change what I need to do for my purpose to be fulfilled in this life, you know? So it got to a point where I was just like, it is what it is, dude. Like, you can't, in the same way that we all have different journeys in life, our bodies are also part of that journey. And it's weird, but you also learn things from the body that you're in. It's honestly very weird because you get to a point where it's kind of like, when I'm confident in my body, I'm confident with taking up space. When I'm confident in the things that I wear, I'm also comfortable with taking up space because there's not much that you're going to tell me that is going to shake me. Whether it's my body, whether it's my face and all of that, when I get to a point where I'm confident in at least one thing, where my looks are concerned, I know how it filters positively to like everything else where my life is concerned. Most of my life I carried like, I don't want to say shame, but how should I say it? I don't want to use the word shame, but it wasn't necessarily like a positive feeling that I had regarding my body, you know. And I feel like I grew up and it got to a point where I realized things, you know, like clarity is clear to see kind of things. And then there's also this thing where, for the most part, where bodies are concerned and all of that, can I just say that saying or like commenting on someone's picture and saying, oh my god, you're so confident, it's really not a compliment. It's not, especially to someone who probably, sometimes it is a compliment, and I think it's a compliment when you know how the person feels or like felt about themselves before. But to just come to a random stranger and be like, oh my god, you're so confident, what do you mean? What do you mean? Because I don't think you would even think to say that to someone who is like a skinny person or like thin or who has like a socially acceptable body. You get me? And I know some people will come on here and be like, but I mean, you're not big, I mean, you're not that. And I know that, but that's the thing, like, it's just body dysmorphia. And I keep saying to myself that, like, sometimes I wish I had grown up with people who had a body structure similar to mine, because that then I would have known that like it's completely normal, you know. There's also this thing where people think that just because you're positive about your body means you have to be a motivational speaker or a motivation for the next person where their body is concerned, and openly so, you know. And I know like it's, I know people don't do it on purpose. So for example, I've had people say, oh my god, my friend saw you wearing shorts, and they just like, "Ah, if you can do it, then so can they." And I'm just like, what does that mean? You know, I understand it's coming from I don't even know if I can say it's coming from a good place, because there isn't a part of me that can say, okay, I see how that's a good thing. Because if you're saying then that if I can then why can't you, is kind of like you can one up me, essentially, that I'm basically bigger than you, or you're better than me, therefore you can do what I'm doing because you're better, or you're skinny, or like small things like that, you know. I don't want to carry my body as like a motivational tool for the next person. I got to this point by myself, and without even saying certain things to other people regarding their bodies. Where gaining weight was concerned for me, like even now I still struggle with it, and I'm just like, I don't know. And I don't even think it's just the case of gaining weight. I think it's just the shame that I feel where food is concerned, right? Because when you have a body you can't necessarily openly enjoy food, because if you openly enjoy food, then people are just like, oh, no wonder ilo omukana or rata dijo. And even with that, it's like, okay, nkanna karata dijo mara ke kwenu, you know. But I noticed that when I started cutting down my portions, it wasn't necessarily because of the shame that came with food. It's more like me wanting to maintain my body. Because the other thing is that you can be body positive but still look after your body, you know. Just because you're body positive doesn't necessarily mean that you have to go out of your way to not care about yourself, go out of your way to not care about what you put into your body as well. I realized that when I eat clean, I feel so much better about myself, because I'm just like, you are doing the work to make yourself feel good about yourself from the inside, and not necessarily care much about what you look like physically, because you're doing the work internally with the things that you eat and all of that, you know. And I got to a point where I started being comfortable with like people knowing that I actually like food. You know, like not being scared to eat when I want to, not being scared to eat however much I want to, because I know that when I'm eating, it's something that makes me happy, but to a point where it's within the limits that I feel comfortable with. I won't go out of my way to eat more than I need to eat, you know. But that still doesn't mean that I don't enjoy food or that I don't like food. I feel like we all like food within the bounds that make us feel comfortable, or limits that make us feel comfortable. And I won't lie, like it's done wonders for me where that is concerned. And I just feel so much better, you know, with knowing that like I'm not trying to hide parts of myself that used to make me feel embarrassed because I'm worried about what other people will think, you know. Like if I want to eat, child, I am gonna eat. If I want to snack, I'm gonna snack. Like, God forbid I gain a bit of weight, and that's fine. Like, your weight fluctuates, but yours is to always make sure that you are putting into your body whatever makes you feel good, you know. To just do the work, and one day you will see the results. I feel like that's what makes life about life. Like, it's the small things that you do to get to the bigger picture, and when you get to the bigger picture, there's still something more to keep on doing, right? And the one thing that I will always be like proud of myself for is always making sure that I show up for myself in the best way that I know how to, without internalizing how other people do it for themselves. You know, like I look at how people practice their self-care for their bodies differently to how I do it, and mine is to make sure that I don't look at the way they do it and like question whether I actually like myself like they like themselves. You know, like we all do things differently in the bounds that are beneficial for all of us, you know. Granted, you're doing it for yourself and not necessarily for the next person. It makes me proud of myself to know that like bit by bit I'm starting to conquer like the body dysmorphia, and that it doesn't stop me from doing things that I actually want to do. It doesn't stop me from wearing what I want to wear. It doesn't stop me from being in certain places. It just doesn't stop me from occupying the place and spaces that I feel I'm deserving to occupy. You know, it doesn't matter how the next person sees you, as long as you see yourself as who you want to be and who you are as well. I feel like there's just so much power in like knowing who you are for yourself and not allowing other people to dictate that for you, and not allowing people to feel like what they have to say about you and your body is something that's reserved for them, because it's not, you know. If you have reached the end of this video, please subscribe, because that means you like me. Okay, So stop fighting it and just subscribe, because we've got big goals. You would like to grow, okay? So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Please feel free to like, comment, and definitely subscribe, as well as hit the notification bell for further notifications, and I will definitely see you guys in the next video. Also, please feel free to share what kind of conversations you'd like to see me have in the future, where like, I don't know, whatever you'd like to know, really. You can just pop me a DM or whatever, or even in the comments, just basically let me know like what you would like to have a chit chat about, you know, and I will definitely make that happen for you, honey. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll definitely see you in the next video.